Through how you do a blast search. We're going to do this in class 2. Sometimes it's fun because you get to watch me going, oh wait, that's right, because this is not something I do all that often. So the pre-lab is mildly lengthy, and it's because this is not something that you would normally think of doing. So what we would start off with is this website here for genes. And here I could search it whatever I feel like. So if I wanted to look up hemoglobin, or if I want to do eye color, so I'll do eye color. And what you'll realize is whatever you type in, it's going to go hunting for it. So it'll give you whatever it can find in its database. So this is a government website from the National Institutes of Health, which is NIH. This is just what they turn out to have. So like here it says melanosomal transmembrane protein, whatever that turns out to mean, but it has something to do clearly with eye color. So if I click on here where it says name or gene ID, what I'll get is a whole bunch of information. I have no clue if this is going to work or not. So all this stuff here where it says lineage, this is telling you about how we got to our point. So this would be the domain, then we have the super kingdom, super kingdom, and which they're throwing in as an animal, and then we have a phylum, and then so on. There'll be a little thing that's called a summary, and what it's going to do is it's going to tell you, hey, here's what this is talking about. So if you want to know what the gene is, it'll be named there. And if I scroll down, there's going to be a whole lot of information about what I'm going to hunt for. Something that says NCBI reference sequences. So this is what I want to find. I want to find this part. Then I'm going to go down to where it says mRNA and proteins. I'm going to click on what I see first. So this is talking about P isoforms, meaning versions of it. These are going to deal with what I'm dealing with up here. So these are sequences of this particular gene. So I click on it, it says Homo sapiens OCA2 melanosomal transmembrane protein OCA2. This is how we would abbreviate it, transcript variant 1, which is mRNA. So if I scroll down all the way to the bottom, what I have is the gene. All of this stuff here is the actual gene in question. So what I'm going to want to do is copy it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take it to the BLAST site, which is right here. BLAST, they've actually changed how it looks because, as you can see, they just changed this thing. Hence, when I looked at it, I was like, wait a second, this is not what BLAST looks like. But I'm going to go to where it says nucleotide BLAST. So I go there, I'm going to paste it in. I'm going to get rid of all these numbers just because. And because I'm not going to edit this video, you get to suffer with it. What the BLAST database will do is it's kind of like a massive Google search. And what it's going to do is whatever I put into this box, it's going to go hunting for it. Except rather than looking on the internet, it's going to look through the database that it happens to have for genes. This might take me a while. Needless to say, this is not something that you just jump into and say, oh, well, this is easy. The reason why this doesn't seem that simple and straightforward is because this is not meant for high schoolers. This is an actual factual researcher website. When I was in college, we didn't use this because it basically didn't exist. They announced the sequencing of the human genome while I was in college. But since then, we've sequenced quite a few other things, as you will see in a moment. So I have everything. What I'm going to do is, I'm not going to mess with any of this stuff. I want it to look for anything it can find. I don't want it to look for humans. I don't want to look for mice. I want to look for anything. Don't pick any of this other stuff. And then I click blast. Then it's going to think. And it's going to tell you how long it's searching for because it's going to remind you. Wow, this actually went really quickly. That's what I get. And if you feel like it, you can watch how to interpret all of this stuff. I haven't watched this video, but I'm sure it's highly technical. Much like how I haven't read this one either, but I'm sure it's very fun. What I'm going to find is this massive table here under where it says descriptions. This turns out to be where did we have a match? The way that I read the matches is I look at the E value. So max scores, so these are the total number of nucleotides that I found, and then it's, well, how many turned out to match. That's where you get the query cover. This E value number here where it says 0, that turns out to be a perfect match because that means 0 error. The way that we could also view that is if I turn it into a tree, and we'll talk about how we read these in class, but it actually makes a phylogenetic tree. So this is how you do a BLAST search. It's not too hard. It's just a matter of doing it.